So welcome, folks. 5 at 5. The subject that we will discuss is not very good. So let's start the show on a good positive note, and then we will change track and address the subject at hand. Because Rohit and Devashish have both joined from Australia, will give me an exact ground report as to what transpired, and we can take comments from everyone and actually make a reasonable point here because it's important to do so. But before that, on behalf of Bharat, Gargi, Rohit, Devashish, and the entire team of Rev Sports, a very happy 50th birthday to Shomik. So he turns 50, half century.
Thank you.
Nothing better. We will celebrate together, but wish him a long, healthy, happy life, and celebration awaits. On that note, so we start good. We will
Thank you.
virtually cut the cake here, but I will get a cake done for Shomik when he comes, and we will obviously celebrate. But Rohit Juglan, first question: was Siraj booed? How bad was it? What is going on? Because this is becoming a repeat of 2021 when all of the racist chants and all of that had come back. This is becoming a repeat of some earlier India versus Australia when all of this so-called spirit had gone out of the window. What is going on with Mohammad Siraj? Rohit Juglan.
Yes, definitely he has been booed. There were constant booing going on whenever he was given a ball, or he was after the ball, whenever he was taking his run up, whenever he was bowling, whenever a boundary was scored against him. There were always that kind of boo, but I don't consider them a very we are not discussing that was there any racist thing in them or not. But yes, they haven't forgot what had happened in Adelaide. They are and especially when the local boys are playing, especially Nathan Maxwell is playing, and they really want him to do well, because he's from Queensland. Usman Khwaja is also kind of adopted son. The number 3 will come in. Manas Labuschagne is also from Queensland. So they have very much to cheer on. But I don't think they forgot. They have. I was just having a word with the Aussie guy here. I said to him that you guys have good memory. So he said that we want to give him back. What the way he threw that ball. When Manas said to him that stop, there was some guy passing in front of the side screen. There was some guy, and Siraj threw the ball. So he said that wasn't right. He if he had kept his cool at that point of time, there was nothing we were doing against him. It wasn't like that from the very first ball. There was nothing in Perth. There was nothing till that moment in Adelaide also. But he started that, and after that, what had happened against Travis Head. He's okay with what had happened with the Travis Head thing, but he was not happy with what had happened with Manas Labuschagne at the before that. So yes, I think they are very loud. They are clearly against Mohammad Siraj. Whatever he's doing, whatever any single thing done by Mohammad Siraj, they all are after him, and they are quite loud. And I'm seeing this for the very first time. In all the 3 venues till now, Australia beating India as far as numbers are concerned. The people coming into the ground, there are more Aussies as compared to Indian. I hope this will turn around in Boxing Day, day one.
Devashish Sen, your thoughts on what's happening with Mohammad Siraj before I can go to my other guests and ask for perspective. But this is something that is of serious importance. If Harbhajan Singh remembered, he had told both you and me there was a camera, which was specially a Harbhajan Singh camera in 2008. He, quote unquote, he said, I was like this trapped animal in a cage, and they would monitor every movement of mine so that they could keep a check on me. It's as if Mohammad Siraj is facing similar kind of behavior where everything is being scrutinized, decoded, and he is facing these woos. Devashish Sen, what's going on?
Yeah, obviously we do not have any reaction from the Indian team management since the match, or only the test play only had 13 overs. Ideally, if there would have been a press conference, then we would have got a official reaction as to what the team management think. I think the team management should rally around Mohammad Siraj. He has been an integral part of this team, and as a team, the entire team should back him. And this is not something that we should support, because see, cricket is a gentleman's game, and to be booed on the ground every time he was at the bowling run up or every time he was fielding. That is uncalled for and something that needs to be left that both teams have moved on. At least both the captains in that press conference in Adelaide said played down the incident, but once again, as was the case on day one of the third test match here at the Gabba, the crowd, the Australian public, booing Siraj brings back haunted memories of the last time when these teams played here. Boryada.
Gargi, this is where Pat Cummins as captain needs to stand up. It is on his turf. He has to take the responsibility and tell his home crowd that this is not exactly the way that people should conduct themselves, especially as fans. If this is what is going on in Brisbane, I can tell you cries of wanker will be all over in Melbourne. Bay 13, we know historically what has happened with Bay 13. This is just the start. It will keep growing. Pat Cummins and the rest of the Australian boys have a responsibility here, because if this goes out of control, this is a series that will get heated and heated, and the Indians will not back down. This is not the India to back down. They'll give it back. So this has that potential to become a kind of a volcano. Gargi Raut, where do you stand on this?
Absolutely, like you said, it has a potential of a volcano who's about to blow up any second. But I don't think Pat Cummins will say anything about this. Uh, I think with the way that Rohit has also explained, who was it that was speaking that said that the delivery, whatever that happened. So I don't think anyone is going to come out and say don't do this to Mohammad Siraj, or going to defend Mohammad Siraj at this point. It's very clear that the Aussies are very against Siraj, and obviously with the booing and all, and with no statements from the Australian team, which I don't expect as well. I don't expect. I wouldn't have expected it from either sides if the situation was flipped. So I think it's a sort of blessing in disguise, if I may say so, because this will only charge up the Indian team. This will only charge up Mohammad Siraj to do well. And I expect Mohammad Siraj to not talk at all, to not give in at all to this situation. The only thing he needs to do is talk with the ball. That's all.
Bharat Ramraj, there is a certain Virat Kohli incident where he actually asked the crowd to calm down and not do the same to Steve Smith. So there is an example in front of us. Virat Kohli doing the same during the 2019 tournament, asking the crowd not to go after Steve Smith. Straight after Sandpaper Gate, the Indian crowd could have done the same. Virat did that. That is why Pat Cummins needs to take a leaf out of Virat Kohli's book and stop this from going on. Bharat Ramraj, your thoughts?
But I'm not so sure that Australian team or someone like Pat Cummins would do that, because that is not what to expect from the Australian cricket team. Looking at how the kind of things that Pat Cummins said in the presser, I think he will just let it how it would be. But as a leader, if it would be great if he does something like that. But I don't expect anything of that sort. But hopefully, from Siraj's point of view or the Indian team's point of view, they will take it in the right spirit, and it will motivate or spur them to do even better than what they are doing. Just wanted to add a point. Maybe I'm not gone to that particular place, Brisbane or something on those lines, but whatever my friends tell, or a few of my friends tell, or even when England went and played in at Brisbane Gabba, it always seemed like that is one place where you get even more booing, a little more abuse than what I expect from some other venues. So that it is happening at the Gabba, it's not surprising. It's not surprising to me, because you always get a lot of abuse and boos. Hopefully, it will spur or motivate the Indian team to do even better.
Shomik, based on the Krishna Kumar incident of last time, I hope you know, Krishna also reached out to me, I think day before yesterday. He has shifted base to Melbourne. You remember that whole incident involving Krishna Kumar when he was asked to leave the ground. There has been new regulations that have been introduced by Cricket Australia based on spectator behavior, spectator comfort, racism, etc., etc. And after that, if these kind of chants continue, you remember what Ajinkya Rahane did. He rallied the team based on the racist chants against Mohammad Siraj. We have seen these things too many times in the past. Where do you stand on this? What do you think the Indian stand will be, and will this spur Mohammad Siraj on? Shomit Chakraborty.
I mean, you mentioned Bay 13, and thank goodness SCG no longer has the hill. It has been replaced with the Victor Trumpa stand. It would have been worse in case, I mean, if the hill had existed, it would have been worse. See, personally, I don't mind barracking in the sense as long as it is not chants are not racist or homophobic or anything discriminatory. But the problem with the fan culture, both in England and Australia, is that I mean, alcohol is a big part of their sports viewing, and a lot of guys there they can't control their alcohol, and that is when things get things get flared up. I was very impressed to see Shubman Gill coming around, putting an arm around Siraj's shoulder, and I mean he's acting like a leader. A lot will depend on, obviously no one can support this kind of behavior on at a sporting venue. At the same time, I don't see Australian captain or any member from the Australian team coming forward and asking the crowd a la Virat Kohli to stop booing. I mean they will let it happen. So from that point of view, it is very, very important for the Indian team to rally around Siraj. Rohit has a big role to play, and I'm sure he is doing the job of a captain. It would be when Siraj, if it is come to something uncontrollable, I mean, the authorities will intervene, and maybe it would be advisable not to put Siraj near the boundary line. Maybe in the infield, that will give him some protection. But once again, no one supports this kind of a behavior on a cricket field. But it has happened. I- It earlier it used to happen with the England players from the days of Jardine and Laru down to John Snow and Botham Harmison and Kevin Peterson. Now India has risen to the rank. They see India as their equal. Earlier, they didn't care much beyond Ashes. Now India Australia series has gained equal importance or maybe more. So from that point of view, this is why this friction is happening.
Rohit Juglan, two questions. One, the Shubman Gill point, you tweeted about it also. It was excellent to see Shubman Gill playing the role of leader. I also haven't seen much of Shubman Gill in red ball doing this in the past. So yes, it was an interesting thing for me also, something that you mentioned in your tweet. And secondly, the point that Shomik is making, what about the Australian media, the holier than thou Australian media? Had this happened to a Steve Smith or a Pat Cummins or a Mitchell Stark in India, imagine the outroar by now. Imagine Indian fans are rogue, Indian fans are boorish, Indian fans are X and Y, and all the English adjectives by now of Oxford Dictionary would have been paraded in front of us. What about the Australian media who claim to be holier than thou and uphold the spirit of the game? Complete silence from them. This is hypocrisy of another order as well. Rohit Jiglan, two questions.
No, I think neither their captain is answering anything. Still remember my question in the Adelaide press conference. I asked Pat Cummins two specific questions. One about what you said to Siraj, because Siraj was really angry at that point of time. Because, if you see when Pat Cummins dismissed Rishabh Pant on the first innings, look at his pumped up reaction. And as I told this earlier also, that, I caught Mitch Stark saying this in Fox Cricket, that he was angry, and he particularly used that word, that he was angry, and that's why that pumped up reaction after dismissing Rishabh Pant. And after that, what had happened, that I asked him, and I thought that, as a bowler to bowler, he will relate that what Siraj did at that point of time will make sense, and he'll give something out of to me. That I just asked him that what you said to Siraj, because Siraj was looking angry at that point of time, and Travis Head was walking towards the dressing room. This whole thing was ended. Now Siraj was again going back to take his the run up, and at that point of time there was something said by Pat Cummins, and Pat noted to that, agreed to that, that yes, he said to the something to Siraj, but he didn't answer. And after that, I asked him, I particularly asked him, was it right of your vice captain to lie in front of press conference? I said to him that I can totally understand he can't say those words here, that what he said, he definitely not said that, what a delivery or well bowled, because as we already said, that well bowled doesn't start off letter F, it starts with letter W. So that's the thing which I asked him, that was it right from your vice captain to lie in front of press conference? Because on that very morning, Mohammad Siraj to Harbhajan Singh in the broadcaster's interview said that no, he clearly lied. It was a total lie. So, Bonilla, if your captain is not answering things, your vice captain is lying in the press conference, what will your press do? They have to cater that agenda from the Australian cricket team, that yes, our vice captain is saying this, our captain is also not, rubbishing that thing, that yes, whatever he said, it wasn't right. We can totally understand a bowler, getting this kind of reaction from a fast bowler after clean bowled a batter is very much is always somewhere down the line. You can see each and every bowler just doing these kind of things. So I think I am not expecting anything from the Australian media. They are now particularly, putting pressure on Rohit Sharma. Sometimes there were tweets about his recent performance. If you're comparing his recent performance, I know that Steve Smith is a very big batter, one of the modern day greatest batter of this time as far as Test cricket is concerned. But if you are on current basis, if you are seeing the individual scores of Rohit Sharma, just put another article on Steven Smith also, because Rohit Sharma for India, highest scorer as far as BGT is concerned, the most number of centuries, it's Rohit Sharma's number. So if you are comparing his recent performances, then why not you're questioning your own batters? And then today also they've written something about his captaincy, that whether winning the toss and opting for ball, what, it's not 128 for nil, it's just 28 for nil, it's just 13.5 or 4
So
overs.
so so
And
what if it is, so what if it is 128 for nil? So what?
that's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying. That's
exactly.
everyone from their top writers to their top media, top channels. Everyone is saying that, oh, Rohit had made a bad decision. This is wrong. This
Who
is
are
wrong.
they? And my problem is, I have seen what you are talking about, Rohit. I've seen that tweet, and I've also seen who you quote tweeted and what kind of comments were being made by some of our own. The same ugly, stupid fan wars were being brought into that, and hate was being peddled against you. I did not respond because I don't need to. You're
I,
good enough to stand up for yourself, and
I,
you're an
I, I
able
didn't
guy
even
to
respond
stand
it.
up
I
for
didn't even
yourself.
respond it. I
I
just
read
put a
everything.
question, that why not put let's see this stats also. Now let's see this. I know that Steven
Rohit, I
Smith
have
is a
seen that.
world class batter. I'm
I've
not
I've
comparing him with the
seen
Rohit Sharma, but let's
I've
put the
seen
recent
that.
form together.
I have seen exactly what you wrote. Had it been anything out of the ordinary, it is my job to tell you, which I've done in the past. I see everything. What my colleagues put, who's saying what against our colleagues, who is peddling hate and abuse and troll, whether it is Bharat, whether it is Shomik, Gargi, Devashish, Shubha, and I see all of this. That is why I sleep 4 hours in the day. I work for 20 hours. It is my job to stand up for each of my colleagues. And a lot of people are saying here, enough the hate against Rohit Juglar. Listen, firstly, he is capable of handling it. This show is not about hate against Rohit Juglan. And secondly, you want to show hate against any of my colleagues? Come. I've seen this hate for way too long and I don't give a shit about it. So nobody can do anything to any of my colleagues. Okay? Simple. But coming back to the question at hand, Gargi, if this is what it is, the Australian captain, the Australian vice captain, and and this continues. This continues. It is absolutely imperative, because if the media is acting as an extension of the Australian cricket team and trying to put the Indians under pressure, this is an extension of Mitchell Johnson's comment, we cannot play soft cricket. It is absolutely imperative now that the Indians start giving it back, whether in the form of Mohammad Siraj, whether in the form of Virat Kohli. And this is where I miss Virat Kohli, because he is the one to give it back the best. He is the one to kind of shut them up. Gargi Raut, where do you stand? Press conferences, body language, demeanor, the way you bowl, it is time India ups the ante.
100%. I think you can only take motivation from everything that's happening. With India and Australia, there's always a lot of drama involved, be it because of anything that happens on the field, be it anything that happens outside of the field, racism, whatever. I won't get into that, but at the same time, you can only use it as motivation. You can only use it as fuel, because that will only, you know you should only use it as fuel, because that will help your performance. And that's what I always say, and I said this before as well, that don't come out and give like Travis said, came out and lied. Don't do those things. Don't talk at all. Don't give them oral answers. It's all about what happens on the field. You have to go out there and prove to them with the bat and ball that you are the better side. Be it with the kind of humanity they have, or with the game. You just have to come out and be the better side. That's all.
Devashish, a bit of lip tomorrow morning. Cloudy conditions, couple of balls. Smell the leather. Give a bit of lip as well. What's the problem? You're getting booed. Give a bit of lip. What will happen? Some more boos. Big deal. Devashish said, this is not a series anymore for sweet IPL type honey. It is not. It is becoming a series of real fight.
Yeah, absolutely, and I don't mind Siraj giving it back. And obviously, this is not the soft people's game. Means obviously, you compete on the field, and that is how it should be, and that is how because you are playing for the pride of your country. And when and obviously with the series 1-1 means and that is why I said that the entire team should rally behind Siraj. Obviously, if Siraj picks a wicket, he should give it back. Means and as a fast bowler, you are bound to show your reaction. Nothing harm as far as me is concerned to react after getting a wicket. It will be interesting to see how it shapes up tomorrow, because there again once again there will be booing, and it goes to be seen how the captain or Virat reacts and backs Siraj. That is what you want, is to back your say, experienced fast bowler.
Bharat Ramraj, importantly, Rohit Sharma has to take the role of leader here and stand up. Ajinkya Rahane's demeanor as captain is not the same as Virat Kohli's body language, but Ajinkya Rahane did the job wonderfully well. This is now on Rohit Sharma to stand up and be counted on the field as leader in general if this kind of thing continues. It is essential that Rohit Sharma does that job. Where do you stand on this, Bharat Ramraj? There was one question. Gargi, take that super chat. Somebody said wants to see Virat captain. That's not going to happen, but that doesn't stop Virat from playing a leadership role. Bharat Ramraj.
Yeah, see, it's all about having that presence on the field. You don't need to go shout, scream, or do whatever, but it's all about having that presence, and that is what Ajinkya Rahane had. When he did, even as a Ranji Trophy captain, I've seen him with Mumbai, that when he did, he could step up, and that's what he did during the Tour of Australia in 2020-21. So that's something similar Rohit Sharma has to do. If the booing becomes too much, or if there's too much of abuse or racial chants coming from the crowd, then he has to step up and take a decision, whatever suits at that particular moment. So that is the onus on someone like Rohit Sharma. As far as Siraj is concerned, I hope he does it with a controlled aggression, in the sense that, yeah, you can bowl short deliveries, you can do a little bit of sledging, but if he gets carried away too much and loses lines or lengths, then it could be something else. So the important for Siraj to make sure that he does it with a sort of controlled aggression, where he gives it back to the Australian team, maybe Australian batters a little bit, and then also ensures that he doesn't lose the plot in terms of his lines and lengths, because tomorrow morning first session is going to be very important for India.
I think Bharat makes a very important point, Shumik, about channelizing aggression. Aggression can be channelized in very different ways, but very inconsistent ways also. If you allow aggression to take the better of you or get the better of you, then it might become misplaced. At the same time, if aggression is used to spur you on, then Mohammad Siraj can produce a magical spell tomorrow morning. He's well capable of that. Before you answer, ईशिका एंड अर्जुन, बोरिया वही है ना जिसने साहा को धमकी दी थी इंटरव्यू के लिए? एग्जैक्टली वही है जिसने साहा को उसका औकात भी दिखा दिया और उसका झूठ भी दिखा दिया. वही है. किताब पढ़ लो, उसका औकात दिखा दिया. अभी तक उसका अपॉलॉजी के लिए वेट कर रहा हूं. सो जरूर पढ़िएगा किताब. यस शोमिक.
I think the best antidote to this booing and everything, targeting someone from Siraj's point of view, is chin music. Go around the wicket. Hit them on the grill, hit them on. Leave a mark on their helmets, and that would be the perfect response. West Indies fast bowlers, they barely ever They barely ever spoke a word. They didn't need to. Their action spoke louder than their words. The stare, those bouncers and all. So I think Siraj should channel his inner. I mean, I would say Siraj should channel his inner Joel Garner or Cartley Ambrose or Malcolm Marshall, in the sense, in terms of bowling that kind of intimidating stuff, and he should leave a mark on the Aussie batsman. That would be the fittest response. And I also see ICC, I mean, Jaisha has just taken over. So Jaisha, I mean, I'll not put Jaisha into this, but the ICC arts over the years hasn't done much in terms of enforcing the law when it comes to crowd behavior. FIFA or UEFA, and they deal with a more, I mean, militant fan. They deal with a lot more militant fans. They have a standard. I mean, people go in football grounds, people go overboard, but they are being made to pay for that. As soon as you are crossing a line, there are, I mean, you either face ban, you face punitive actions. How many times have you seen? ICC also has that, a code of conduct for the fans. But how many times we have seen, unless someone is doing a racist chant or something, it has been enforced. I think ICC has also should take a leap out of FIFA or UEFA and enforce it in terms of crowd behavior.
I saw a video, Rohit Juglan. I saw a video clip of a fan who had a sandpaper in Adelaide being escorted out of the stadium. I have absolutely no problems in that, because that is where things can become very, very ugly and become completely out of hand. At the same time, if you can escort a fan, an Indian fan, out of the stadium because he was showing a placard and showing sandpaper, then you can do the same for boorish and rogue Australian fans who are booing Mohammad Siraj and chanting different kinds of abuse. Why should there be double standards? If you can do that, you do this. That's how should be. There should be a level playing field for all sets of fans. Rohit Juglan.
But Bodhida, I don't think that there's anything wrong in carrying a sandpaper, because that's part of their history. Why can't you just are they showing anything which is derogatory or which is very wrong? That's they have did means they completed did that. You caught them red-handed within 28 cameras in South Africa. Brilliant job by their cameramans. They have clearly, you can clearly see them using that sandpaper. So is a sandpaper derogatory? Is it something like which you can, is it some racist remark? Is it something which is really, means are they really, finding this, that, if anyone now from here onwards carrying a sandpaper, then it is a completely derogatory thing in front of Cricket Australia? Because I don't think it has to be like this, that, oh, if someone is getting, that's just fun banter. What you are doing with Mohammad Siraj, what you have done with, Mohammad Siraj last time around also with Harbhajan Singh, there's a lot of history to it. There's a lot of history to it. And look what Virat Kohli did. You can't find many of, his the kind of heart he showed there in 2019 World Cup. You won't find many, doing that to a, opposition player. And even after, when he said, before that, he said that, I'm not here to make friends specifically on Australian team. He said, he had a very good relationship with players with New Zealand, players with South Africa, all around the world. Ben Stokes, he think is the best cricketer. Last interview which I heard of him, that he said that Ben Stokes is, one cricketer who he really liked. So, but after saying all this to Australian cricketers, that I'm not here to, make friends, and the kind of, the statements you have seen him, saying about Aussies, after that, to do that kind of gesture was really great of him. But I don't think that this kind of, the same gesture you can expect from the Australian team, from Pat Cummins or from Stephen Smith or from any of them. And I find it really, really amazed that why if an Indian fan carrying a sandpaper, if there's something to it, then that's the fun part of it. That's the fun part of it. You do it on regular basis in each and every part of the world. just to make them angry, or वरना फिर मजा क्या रह गया? अगर जिस चीज से आप चिढ़ नहीं रहे हो, मैं आपको वही चीज नहीं कह रहा हूँ, तो फिर मजा क्या रह गया? So I don't think,
Bharat,
बस
Rohit
until
is
and unless
saying
derogatory नहीं होना चाहिए.
Bharat, Rohit is saying you try and get under the skin of the Australians with the sandpaper. Now, the fact is, if they are getting riled up by that and they are asking the fan to leave, then you stop your own fan from booing Mohammad Siraj and chanting different kind of chants which are ugly. Because you cannot have different levels of behavior. If I just put a sandpaper like this and you're getting riled up, there is a problem with you. But here it is a public outcry against a particular player. So how is it that that will be tolerated at the Gabba in Brisbane? Is it not a case of double standards and the Australian media keeping quiet, the holier than thou Australian media, may I say? Bharat Ramraj.
Yes, that is something that to expect with Australian media. Not much to say, because they are always a little bit. There is always a little bit of hypocrisy with them. They act like saints when it comes to others, but when it comes to their own doing boos or abusing, they tend to keep quiet. So you are absolutely right on that. Right on that part. Uh, that's all I can say.
Shomik, your thoughts?
See, I mean, to start with, this Australian team doesn't have anyone to match Virat Kohli's stature also. Virat Kohli has been an emissary of the sport globally. This Australian team doesn't have anyone who can. So when Virat Kohli speaks, crowd listen. I think these Australian players are not even sure. I am not. They will not volunteer. I don't expect them to go to their fans and ask them to stop booing. But even if they take they give it a try. I don't know how much that will be taken seriously by their fans. So that is also one aspect we need to consider.
Ashish, you think this will go up and up and up now, or will there be a tempering down?
See, I would just take back to what Suminda said a few minutes back. Means ICC or any cricket boards, whenever there is a bilateral series, there is constant public address system that says that racist comments are not invited. So clearly here also in all stadiums, there is a public address system. As long as the booing is there, I don't have a problem, because in obviously in such a big series, a marquee series like this, the local fans will always support their own players. Means, and as long as it does not crosses the boundary, that's okay. Means obviously if there is any racist comments, then obviously that it should be dealt with strong manner. But as long as it is within the boundary, then you might have no crowds in. Then the crowds go, and obviously it is kind of it's a way. And there is a distinct difference between the culture of between India and Australia. The Aussies, yes, as you rightly said, that there is an alcohol viewing area. Everywhere, every aisle, every block, there is an alcohol, the beers being sold to general public, which is the case in England as well. Then you shouldn't sell beer and beer in the stands. So you cannot stop or you cannot remove the public by booing a particular player. Means as long as it is not racist or anything derogatory, then it's perfectly okay. How can you stop? Then you mean to say that you will play in front of an empty stand by removing all the local fans? So it's a Aussie culture. So obviously and obviously last time also when India traveled to 2021. I still remember few of the Australian fans were evicted from the stands once Siraj complained that he was being subject to racist abuse. So as long as the boo is there, I don't find any problem, because you were playing in hostile conditions, and these are bound to be happen. And as an international player, you should stand up to face these challenges.
Gargi, take this one. This is interesting. I love this. If you want to, you take this. Otherwise, I'll happily take it. Indian fans boo Hardik Pandey over a tuk-tuk competition like IPL, but get sensitive over Aussie crowds giving some back in a huge test series. You want to address this, Gargi?
I mean, what can I say? He's also not wrong in saying that Hardik, when the whole Hardik Pandya scene happened, of course we were on the side of Hardik Pandya because uh, you can't control the crowd. Let's get that let's get that right. And I'm completely on the side of Debashish when he says that unless there are some racist comments being made, unless the fans are getting aggressive or something, you can't kick them out or say that you're not allowed because you're booing a player, because that happens in a lot of sports, not just cricket. And I don't think you can control the crowd to that extent where you can stop them from booing someone. So that's just, yes, you can make a statement as a player, you can make a statement, come out and say that, like Virat did in 2020, when was that, 2019. But anything more than that, I don't think can be done.
Let me answer that on behalf of Gargi and the rest of the boy. Gargi, take out the Travis Head quote from the press conference and keep it ready. Take out the Travis Head quote, where he said exactly what he said on the Siraj incident. You will get it. Just check Travis Head and read it out after I answer this. Just play the question once more. Play the question once more because it will help us. Where was the question? Just there are too many comments. Just can you get the question up?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it, but there's just
Yeah,
too
even
many.
I'm trying to find it. Unfortunately, whether somebody says I'm unsubscribing your channel as your generalist like Rohit Juglan, boss, it should be journalist, not generalist, is very pathetic. Surya Basu, why do you have to state to the world that I'm doing this? Why are you taking yourself so seriously? You want to unscribe? Go to hell and unscribe. How unsubscribe? How does it matter here? Come on. Okay. Indian fans, joining. By the way, I think you're a serious cricket watcher. For a serious cricket watcher, a tuk-tuk competition like the IPL, a competition that has revolutionized world cricket once and for all and has made cricket a game which can now compete with any global league for that matter, which has an economic value of more than X billion dollars. Tuk-tuk competition. What tuk-tuk competition? That tuk-tuk competition runs the global game at this point in time. That's the money. Will you say X a tuk-tuk competition? This is a free market. Who are you and I to judge what is a tuk-tuk competition? How do you underestimate the economic value of the IPL? How do you? Billions and billions of dollars are being paid, and hundreds and thousands of people are consuming your so-called tuk-tuk competition. So how is it that you are trying to denigrate the competition in the first place? Coming to the second part of the question about giving it back. Travis Head, holier than thou, comes and says, we play our cricket this way. And that is why I said this. They can do what they want. We will continue to play our cricket this way. That's where the matter comes from. This holier than thou. You want to say, yes, Siraj said it, I said it, matter over, fair enough. Absolutely no problem. That is not what was said. What was said was, we play our cricket in a particular manner, which is of a very high moral ethics or a high moral standard. That's where the problem stems from. Because Siraj doesn't speak the best English, not the Oxbridge English like you and I do, you can take Siraj on, is it? English is the single biggest instrument of class oppression. That is where the double standards come from. And that is where the crowd booing. That is where Pat Cummins comes and says, "Oh, you know what? My boys were right," or something like that. Travis Head is a what a grown-up lad and can do what he wants. Ultimately, he lied. That's where the double standard is, Joy Neil. I hope you get your point. It is not about a tuk-tuk competition or what Indian crowds can do. And by the way, we will condemn an Indian crowd that will boo Hardik Pandya in the manner that it did and targeted his then wife, now his divorce since. But at that point in time, pulling someone's wife, pulling someone's family, I thought was disgustingly ugly. And we protested then, and we will protest now. I hope you've got your answer. Okay. Somebody's talking about body language of the Indians. Shomik, you have a problem so far with Rohit's body language. Too little a sample size today with 11 overs. But so far in the series, have you had a problem with Rohit's body language?
I mean, he played just one test, 13.4, 13.2 overs, as you said, a very small sample size. In the second test, what I felt that the Indian team lacked the energy that they have in Perth. Yes, body language wise, I mean they were very. I mean they're very much good boys type when, especially during Travis Head's innings. By no means Travis Head was having a smooth sailing. He was getting bitten. A catch was dropped. he wasn't given any lift. He wasn't targeted with short deliveries. I mean, there was no effort to put him on the back foot through chin music. So that is the case of the. I think, and after that, I mean, maybe Rohit is going through a lean patch uh, that affected his captaincy also in terms of being more aggressive. But I think this time, if such a such a similar scenario develops, he would come out of his shell and he would be his own man. I expect him to do that. So, uh, see, it is very improper to compare Rohit Sharma with Virat Kohli. First of all, two are the two are very different, separate individuals, and also we need to take into account of the fact that during Virat's tenure as captain, throughout he has been in the world's leading run scorer. That gave him the courage to be that much aggressive on the field. If he were not scoring runs, I think he would have struggled as well. And he has, I mean, he had a coach like Ravi Bhai. Gautam Gambhir is similar. He is cut from the same cloth in terms of aggression. And I think from Brisbane onwards, India will not take things lying down.
I agree with Shomik. Joinil, well said, Boriada. To be honest, I made the question as a devil's advocate. Glad you knocked it out of the park. Respect, my friend. Good that you have the courage to say that that question was a flippant one, and I'm glad. That's where respect comes from. Thank you very much for saying this. Gargi, you have the Travis head bite. Play it.
Well, great century there. But what happened with Mohammad Siraj there? It's been making quite a lot of headlines on social media at least. So can you describe what was the conversation and what was the heated exchange there?
Not as heated as I would have liked to be. I actually jokingly said well bowled, and then when we pointed me in the sheds, I had my reaction as well. But I don't want to give it too much airtime. I feel like the way I play the game, and I would like a better reaction. I was surprised at the reaction in terms of the situation of the game and the lead up, and there was no confrontation leading up to it, and I felt like it was probably a little bit far at the time, and that's why I'm disappointed in the reaction that I gave back. But I'm also going to stand up for myself. I'd like to think in our team that we wouldn't do that. It's not how I'd like to play the game, and I'd feel like my teammates the same. And if I seen that in that circumstances, I'd probably call it out, which I did. Yeah.
Do you think the crowd's reaction, the way
That's
people
fine.
were booing Mohammad
That's fine,
Siraj
Gargi.
also?
So Rohit Juglan, not the way Australians play the game, not the way Travis Head plays the game, not the way his people play the game, and he gave it back the way he did on the table. On the table. That's the reaction. Rohit
Absolutely
Juglan.
lying about it. And look, means I don't know how much Travis had watched his own players doing this since we were a child, and all of you were covering at that time in Australia, 2008, 11, 12. Before that also, there were multiple occasions when we saw them grabbing that catch from the ground and saying it is out, or whether it's in Steve Buckner, whether it's a Rudy Kurtzan, where Ponting saying that give him out, and he was just pointing his fingers upwards. There was a good Anil Kumble press conference. I think, Burada, you were there at the tour when he said that I think Indians were the only team who played this game fair enough, and they were playing with 13 odd players. So, including two umpires also into it. So, yes, that was the 2008 series. I still remember that press conference where, everyone clapped for Anil Kumble, the way he handled things. So, we all know these kind of things, that, the Monkey Gate incident, we all know that what happened there. So I don't know which part of things Travis Head is talking about. Even this team has also players, who were there at that point of time when we were saying the Sandpaper Gate. Obviously, Stephen Smith, Cameron Bancroft, and David Warner's name was there. But I think apart from them, there were all other players also who were part of that. So I think if you think that we don't know the Cricket Australia's history, I think you are living on a fool's world. And as I mentioned earlier, that we knew that what you said, it was all over in the press box day after that. What he said was exactly this, F word, starting with the F word, and not well bowled. and then he was preaching us that you have to be well behaved and this and that's why I asked that question to Pat Cummins also, that his reactions was well over the what we say, that over the line or it's crossing the line. He was way too angry after getting Rishabh Pant out. So I don't know what he's saying and where his thoughts are coming from. But if he's having some problem like this, I don't think there's any reason for us to just settle that down on don't question him again and again, that what kind of respect he needs.
Rajesh Singh, Boria, please comment on Juglan and Ravish issue. What? Don't run away. What is it? Come on. I missed that. Don't run away. Please answer, my friend. I don't run away from anything. Okay, let me state this once and for all, the final time. Ravish or whoever, I've never watched any show of Ravish. Okay, and I'm stating this on camera. I don't consider it worthwhile my time to watch. I know him for the longest time. He used to call me Boryada, this, that, whatnot. And some days back, I think 2 weeks back, had sent me a message and called also. I have never in my life watched it and will not. I think Rohit Juglan is an adult who is good enough to take care of such trivial issues. As far as Rev Sports is concerned, there is absolutely no credibility whatsoever that I will attribute to somebody like Ravish, that I will waste more than 30 seconds on my show discussing such trivial nonsense. I hope that answers it once and for all. It is not even relevant to me or to anybody on my platform. I have advised Rohit and Shubhan to flush it like toilet paper, and they will do that. That's what it deserves. Nothing more, over and out. There's a super chat, Devashish. Why don't you take that? Too early to say, but as this game is rain affected, should India play attacking game like they did against Bangladesh and go for a win, or just look to draw? Too early, but Devashish, take it.
First of all, Australia is not Bangladesh. Australia is not Bangladesh. So to be over aggressive and then to lose out doesn't make sense. Obviously, rather than to play play according to the situation of the game. And obviously there are two more matches, and this is a 5-match series. And so so clearly as Shubman said, we look at it as 3-match series now on, because with the series level at 1-1, it is now a 3-match series. So rather than going all out and losing, that will put enormous pressure leading up to that Boxing Day test. So I don't see that India should be too aggressive, because definitely Australia are not Bangladesh, and you are not playing at home.
I agree with Devashish at one level and disagree at another level. I agree about the quality of the Australian cricket team, that they are far better than Bangladesh, but where there is one similarity is between Australian fans and Bangladesh fans. Devashish will agree on that. Devashish, কিছু বলছো না যে Bangladesh fans are your favorite fans? Don't am I wrong in saying that? Anyway, Devashish will leave this ball outside off stump. At what score should India restrict Australia? Mama, well said. Yes, absolutely well said. But I thought it was a premature question. India needs to first get their groove into the game. And 11-12, wow, Mama. Who says wow, Mama? Mama, you get this patented like wow, Momo, it's wow, Mama. Not bad. I will tell Sagar Daryani. He is one of my friends and sponsors. Wow, Momo to wow, Mama. Good slogan. By the way, Gargi, if you have that clip of, I'll forward it to you, of Devashish Sen being chased by the kangaroo. That has to be the closing sequence of this show. Devashish had hidden it from all of us, but I love the fact the way he was feeding the koala and visited the kangaroo. He sent the show for Bangla. I don't think he has shared it in English. Beautiful show. He went to a wildlife park. I'm sure all of us will go. Beautiful visuals of Devashish with the koala and the kangaroo, feeding the kangaroo and feeding the koala. Last few questions. Mama's a superstar of Rev Sports. Completely agree. Why Indian bowlers consistently bowling short of fuller length? Are they afraid of going for runs? Bharat Ramraj, take that.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Maybe it also comes down to the kind of bowler X or Y is. For example, Akash, the style of bowling is looking at his action, is the kind of bowler who is going to go a little bit fuller. And Jasprit Bumrah, looking at his action, is someone whose preferable length would be short of a length because he's more of a hit the pitch bowler. Yes, he swings the ball, he seams the ball, but his what can you say? His preferred length would be always short of a length. So for him to push it a little bit further, maybe it's slightly more difficult. And also one has to consider the fact that in Australian conditions, you won't go and bowl full all the time because in those on those pitches you might be slightly shorter than a fuller length. But I agree that India could bowl a little, few more deliveries in that very full on a really full length, because what happens is once you push the batter back, then you have to go for that dangled carrot, even if that ball doesn't move around much, because the batter is right back in the crease. Then when he tries to drive or something on those lines, it could lead to an edge. So tomorrow at least expect few more deliveries in that full length. But and especially someone like Akashdeep is had to do that, because his style of bowling, his action, everything seems like is suited to being one of those kiss the surface full length bowlers.
Okay, last couple of questions. Even 2 days and a session. What is this? Weather, the accurate prediction. Rohit, can you tell us this? A lot of people have asked, what is the weather like now and what is the prediction for tomorrow, please?
So as soon as the game called off, it didn't rain after that. But it was a lovely evening here. The sun was setting pretty well, and everything is so quiet and calm. There was not even a drizzle, nothing, not even a drop. We came from the ground, just walking around from the ground to the room, and it was a lovely walk, and it was a lovely evening also. There's nothing as far as rain is concerned. Tomorrow, what the prediction is as of now, because here it's the weather forecast apps, and in every 2 to 3 hours, if you are refreshing it, they're showing you a different number. So as of now, what they are showing us is there is a slight chance of rain somewhere around that 12:30 mark, when it will be, I think, the teams will be having their lunch or somewhere around that. There is a 1 hour or 1.5 hour mark where you can, where you can have that rain and a little bit of disturbance as at that particular point of time. After that, as of now, when I'm speaking, it's 10:23 here, 10:23 p.m. It's no rain apart from that particular time slot. Yes, but the bad news is that from Monday onwards, it is getting worse. On last 2 days, I don't think that there will be much of cricket. So as far as of now, where we stand, I think this game will end in a draw, because it's heavily raining on Monday, and on Tuesday. From Monday to Tuesday, it will be raining heavily here. So tomorrow is a good news that you can have, if there is any, you can have till now, if you can have any. So that's 1 hour slot, 12:30 to 1:30. We will update in the morning also, in the Hindi live and in all other lives, that's what's the weather be like. So we'll provide you each and every detail.
Okay, I'll end the show. I'll end the show with a card, and this is what sport for me is all about. All of you, please read this card. All of you, whoever is on the show, whoever is watching. On the left is Gukesh talking about what his mother told him. On the right is Sachin talking about what his father told him. This is what sport is all about. All of you. Gukesh says, my mother says, I'll be very happy to hear that you are a great chess player, but I would be happier to hear that you are an even greater person. Gukesh's mom. Sachin, on his father as a parent, I would be happier hearing people say Sachin is a good human being than Sachin is a great cricketer any day. This is what sport is, ladies and gentlemen. This is what sport is. This is what we study. This is what we love. This is what we follow. This is what we watch. This is what we imbibe. And this is what we will pass on. This is what the essence of sport is all about. I hope every spectator at that ground will at least try and imbibe an iota of what is being said here by two of the greatest. One, perhaps the greatest cricketer of all time, and second, the would be great in the world of chess, and what their families have taught them. This is the essence of sport. I leave you guys with this, because again I say this, that humility is overrated, then humanity is overrated if humility is overrated. Unfortunately, if someone can say humility is overrated, then humanity is overrated, then everything in this world is overrated, my friend. And trust me, on our platform at least, humility, modesty, kindness, and values will never be overrated. Numbers are, money is, return on investment is, forever will be overrated. I'll end the show there. Bharat Ramraj, Shomik Chakraborty, Gargi Raut, Rohit Juglan, Devashish Sen, to everybody watching, this is what we stand for. Thank you very much for watching. Tomorrow morning, 4:30 a.m., Gargi Raut will join Devashish Sen, Bharat Ramraj, and Trisha Ghoshal. I will be hosting the Tata Steel Kolkata 25K Marathon. I'll join from there. All of us will bring you the action while Rohit Juglan, Shubhan Chakraborty will be on the Hindi platform. So join us tomorrow, 4:30 a.m. India time, for all the build-up from the GABA. Thank you very, very much for watching.